Hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, and thank you so much for joining us. My name is Anya Chornia, and I'm Program and Grant Manager at Prague Quadrennial. I'm really happy to see you all here in this webinar for the PQ Performance Space Open Call. And before we dive into the contest, let me introduce our team who will be guiding you through this session. So we have here Sara Franchiera. She is the curator of PQ Performance Space section. We have here Barbara Příhodová, artistic director of PQ, and Adam Svoboda, executive director of PQ. And before we will move on with the webinar, I would like to explain first of all how this session in Zoom will work for everyone, for attendees and for us as well. So today you are all joining us as attendees, and this means that you cannot have your microphone or camera on during the main presentation. But you should not worry, because you can still interact with each other in our chat. You can interact with us in the chat. You can comment on some things we will be saying in the chat. And if you will have any question for us, please, and I will highlight this part, please use the Q&A panel in the Zoom interface. This is a special panel to ask the question, and it's much more easier for us to filter those questions and for you to have all of your questions answered. So when we will move on to the Q&A part, participants will have the opportunity to speak live. To do so, you will need to raise your hand, and one of the moderators will give you permission to unmute and to ask your question verbally. So during the main webinar, use the chat and the Q&A box, and later you will be also able to speak and to ask any question you would like orally. So I think it is all clear, and please do not forget about the Q&A box. So now, to get to know each other a little, I would like to ask all of you guys, where are you coming from? It's always interesting to see where are people joining us, Prague Quadrennial team. I see we're having here hello from Antwerp, Belgium, Brazil, Hanover, Germany, Nottingham, UK. Thank you guys for joining us from all the parts of the world, from all the and for making the time to join us. So now I would like to hand over the word to Barbara Příhodová. She will give us a short introduction to the Prague Quadrennial, including the theme for 2027, Absences and Silence.
Thank you very much, Anya, and thank you everyone for joining us today. Welcome. It's wonderful to be here with you. We're really glad and happy that you're interested in our program section, PQ Performance Space. I'm here just to provide a very brief context for the section and where it's nested in the overall structure of PQ. Thank you for the slide. So you may notice, and if you do, I apologize, but for those of you that may be new to the PQ event, then just a reminder that we have two major parts of our programming. The one part is exhibitions curated by participating countries and regions, and that's on the left of the slide. And then, but today we're in the realm of program sections prepared by our PQ curatorial team. Sara Franchiera is one of the members of this PQ curatorial team. And you can see that we have several of these sections there. Yesterday we talked about PQ performance, and today we are here to focus on PQ performance space. PQ Performance Space is a section program section that has been with the PQ since the early days. It used to be called Theater Architecture, and in the previous editions of PQ, this notion of theater architecture, this title, Theater Architecture 2, has been expanded into performance space, which we feel like it's more encompassing, and it really is a section that focuses on presenting a range of spaces where performance can occur, where performance can take place, including the buildings, but also outside of buildings, of traditional theater buildings. So that's the section we're focusing on today. And I also want to just briefly say that the overall theme of PQ 2027, excuse me, is absences and silences as spaces of potential for something new, for new scenographic futures. And with this theme, I have invited all PQ curators to respond with their own curatorial concepts for the program sections that they're responsible for. With that, I would like to give word to Sara Franqueira, who is the curator of PQ Performance, and she can tell you more about the concept for this section. Thank you, Sara. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Barbara. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to thank everyone present here for their interest in this part of the PQ. I'm very pleased to present my curatorial concept, but I also hope to encourage you to make an application for it. So I have this concept. It's called a room of our own. Can you pass the slide, Anna, please? Thank you. And this concept, it's inspired in Virginia Woolf novel called A Room of One's Own. And in this book, Virginia Woolf claims that to write fiction, a woman has to have some financial independence and a room of her own. So this independence gives her time to think about their project, and the space are essential for their artistic invention. So time and space are the conditions to work with freedom. So I think this is important because when Barbara talked about the absence and the silence, I was thinking regarding the space, what absence are still there, what is in silence. And when Virginia Woolf claimed that part, that sets these truths, I think it's important to transform the world to naming this absence. So I was thinking about this idea that naming an absence, it's the first step to transforming it into potential. So I want this inspiration to put us think today, who in these days have rooms to work? Who are the implications of the people that have rooms and the people that don't have rooms? So who controls space? How does space liberate or obstruct your freedom of work? And in this regard, and can you pass the slide, please? I think we have to, picking the words of Virginia Woolf, claim now that space is decisive. It's very important in performance arts. Of course, you have always two different spaces or two layers of the work with the space. One, it's the container, the context, you know, it could be like a classic theater, a very classical form of space, but it always a context. And in the second part, you have the thing that I call the system, the device, is the way you habit those places, is the way that you structure your occupation. So it's kind of two layers that are always in negotiation. Sometimes it's clear, it's simple, sometimes it's very essential, but sometimes it's a fight and sometimes it's constrains the work or no. So the second thing, it's not space, it's not only decisive, but it's critical because it's important, but has a capacity to transform into critical thinking the way that I choose to use the space or the way that I have some space. So my question is, we need spaces, of course, but what kind of spaces do we need, you know? So for me to call a room of our own, and it's not a room for only one person, because it's always a team that works in a room, of course, in the performing arts. But to name a room of our own is to claim that space, you know, it's to say, in this place I can experiment, I can be emancipated from rigid production demands. Sometimes it's very difficult to work in some spaces. So maybe, I don't know, but sometimes we need some big theaters, sophisticated ones with high technology, but sometimes we don't. Or maybe we can have like external theaters. We can have like micro theaters. We can have like utopian or queer theaters. What kind of spaces is the perfect space to work and to be free? you know, that spaces or rooms in this broad sense that have imperfections and specificities, but we claim them as our own and our way of working. So can you pass the slide on? What we are looking for? We are looking for these rooms that make sense in your head. It could be, of course, theaters and performance art centers, but also chambers, gardens, benches, books. I mean, where are the places that you have these kind unrestrained, experimentations? And this is a part of your work, not just necessarily like a small condition. So we want to think about these rooms, but you have to document the spaces. You have to bring us some representations of these spaces. But these spaces could already exist and you work there, but there also could be future visions. You can imagine some particular spatial alternatives that manifest this kind of room. So this is a call for everybody. This is important. It's for architects, for students also. Students are invited in this edition to take part in all the sections. It is for emerging artists, of course, set designers, performance designers, scenographers. You can be like an experiment director, or it can be just a visionary thinker. Everyone is invited to present a room of their own. Of course, this is an exhibition. It is a competitive platform also, but I think it's a critical one. So in that sense, we can ask questions to this exhibition, to these representations that we are looking for. What other absences this exhibition carry? So this exhibition is itself a room full of absence, because these rooms that are going to be present there are all around the world, but they are not present there. So they are only there by means of representation. So this kind of idea of representation, it's very important in this exhibition, because in the sense it's very different from of performance. The performance are there, but the rooms that we are talking about, no. So I think this is important, this kind of distance that representations give us to make some critical thoughts about this kind of space and the relation between space and performance. I was thinking in another absence, that is the absence between the word space and performance. This part of the PQ calls performance spaces, but could be also named space for performance. And are different alternatives if you name it the space between these two words. I mean, it's different or not, I don't know. If you call something, or you call some room a space for performance, or if you say space as performance. It is different if you talk about performance in space or performance with space. What kind of difference in a thought and also in action appear when you transform and when you occupy this little space between the words? So this is one of the challenge that I put to you. Can you put the next slide, Anna? Thank you. So I want you to think about two systems that are interconnected and two concepts. The first concept is the title, and the second is the collection. Of course, they are connected because the title is the title of the collection, and because the collection is a collection because it's all together by the title. So the collection is about objects of representation, as I talk. I mean, 1, 2, or 3 objects. And these objects that I call objects could be like image, drawings, text, physical objects, models, audiovisual files. It's all the things that you can transport to Prague. And you have to choose them, 1, 2, or 3, like a collection. It's not only like they are together, but they are just solitary. No, they define some kind of relation, discourse between the 3 or the 2. And they have a relation also with the title. The challenge is to name the title of this collection with the words performance and space, or again, space and performance, but put something in the middle. You can have the way that you have to do the title is to put your name and surname, then colon, and then you can choose between space and performance different words up to 10, or you can do starting with performance and then a space with till 10 words in the middle. So if your name is Jendo, like in the example, you can choose that your title is performance yet space, or performance or my type of space. For John Doe, the example is space as the essence of performance. Since you have this place to discover what kind of combinations, it's more in relation with your collection and with the spirit of this section. So I prepare some kind of examples for you. These examples are not like a guideline. It's just for inspiration. It's more concrete inspiration for you. Can you show the next slide, Anna? So this is example 1. And this is images, but it's from a video. This video shows a place in Porto from a company named Malavoadora, and they recover the building in the city. They do, of course, a little black box to make presentations, but they only do a house for the directors of the company. They do some collective spaces to receive artists from other cities. They do like a kitchen. They have a small exhibition. They have like a courtyard in the outside. They call the swimming pool, all blue. So it's a house they dream where they can do whatever they want. And the other object of this example, Anna, can you pass the slide? It's another video, and this video is from a project they are doing. It's the same company. It's very recent. They're starting this now. It's the same thoughts, but in the countries. So it's called Campo Cultural de Campinas. It's in Alentejo, and it's near them. It's very poetic space, and they're doing the same to construct a place where everything can be joined together, houses, places for rehearsal, places for presentation. It's open to community. So for this example, Anna, can you pass the slide? You can have a submission of a collection of 2 objects, in this case, 2 videos from these different projects. And you can call this collection of 2 like space for performance or space for all performance, but you can be more specific. You can call it, for instance, space to live, eat, drink, sleep, and for performance, for instance. So the example 2 that I have here, it's a place in Lisbon, also near the river. It's called Gabinete de Curiosidades, like Curiosity Cabinet. And it's from a company called Carnat, has this space. They work a lot with objects and site-specific performance. This is not a model that you see here. It's a photo, but imagine if it is a model, you know, very with a lot of details, with the colors and the objects. So for this example, for this virtual application, it could be like a model of this place. And then the other object, Anna, can you pass the slide? Could be, for instance, a panel of image. Imagine that these images are in a panel, a big one, like 2 meters by 1, for instance, and there are image from a performance. They do that in that space. It calls Antes e Depois, and it could be the second object. And we can also have the third object. Anna, can you? And it's a video. It's a video of performance. The performance, it's Corpo Velado. I'm going to ask Hannah to put little pieces so that you can understand. It's very long. I cannot show you. But it's 2 performance. They're unveiling like an object. In the beginning, we don't know what these objects are. And they are opening that object, the 2 of them. And the objects reveal a lot of layers of fabrics, of objects, of different things that are filling the space. So the space is reaching this quality of everything that it's put there. And then can you show a little bit more, Anna, for a little bit, just to see the image of that concept? Because when they finished to open the totally of these objects, they're going to do the reverse thing. I mean, they are going to close each layers and then return to the point. And in this project, the director filmed the performance from above, and then he chose in the second part to put the film in black and white. So we have different experience from the first part, the performance, and the second. So it was a performance that was also transmit and transformed into a film. Can you show just a little bit of the black and white thing, Anna? Just a little bit more forward. Yeah, that's the end when we see this, and then you see the black and white part. So can you pass the slide then? It's okay. I think we understand and the videos. So the importance of that, we can the example number 2, it's a collection of 3 objects. I mean, a model of the space, a panel with image of a performance in the space, and that video with the performance. And we can call it just simple space as performance. It's great, it's open, it's has a lot of things that could be said about that, but you also can name it space as an unfolding of performance. I know, and that's because of the video, so. And no, it's okay, Anna, you can you can jump to the 3. That's another place in Lisbon. It's called Latuaria. It's an ancient factory, like a tinsmith where little things are made from light materials or light metals. And this place is occupied for different artists that do their performance there, but they don't transform the space. They work exactly like that. So this kind of virtual submission has 2 objects. The first is the image of the space. Can you show us the second object in the example 2? It's a text. This text was written in the 7th anniversary of the place, and it talks about the space, how the space was there before us, then the space is there now, even when we are not, and talks about this idea of everything and the nothing, and the text is called In Praise of Suspension. So maybe we can pass the slide, please. To put this example number 3 has a collection of 2 things, the text and the image, and we can title, I don't know, performance by space, performance defined by space, or if you want to be more specific, of course, performance as the praise of suspension in a space. And of course, as a relation with the text, and the text as a relation with the space. So I'm looking this kind of joint relations between objects, between representations of rooms, So the example number 4, it's a ephemeral architectural project. It's kind of pavilion. It's called a cell. It's made by Os Especialistas. It's a group that works in Lisbon between architecture and visual arts. And they construct these structures, these pavilions, and then they a lot of image inside. And they take this image with the performance. It's called Happy Days at Cella. They say to Samuel Beckett. So I can think, when I think of these rooms, of this project, and then if I want to make a submission of this project, I can, for instance, choose possible objects like a model of it, why not? But could be like a sound of people inside there. Could be also like pieces of cork for playing, because all the pavilion is made of cork. So, and I can invent like a title with this relation. So the final example, example number 5, is just to say that you can join all these ideas. I mean, for the three objects, don't have to be like the same room as a species of space, They can be different kind of projects. So I can name this virtual submission performance as the praise of suspension in a space, and I can join the text from the Latuaria project, but I can put together with the cell from the last slide, and I can also join the video from the project of Karnak. And I can do like a submission of 3 different objects, linking together with the title and with the concept. So in the application form, you are invited to explain what the objects are, but to explain also how can relate to each other, or how can you relate with the concept. So that's my challenge for you. I hope that you be encouraged to think about these connections and naming these absence to reveal potential. So thank you, Anna.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for this amazing presentation of your concept. That was very beautiful. That was very, I think, inspiring for everyone here. And thank you again. And now we will go to the practical part of the webinar. Now we will explore how our Eventable platform works and what, as a submitter, you should do in order to submit your works to us. So, when you will go on our PQ website and you will go to the open calls section, you will see there the link to the submission form. So this is the Eventable platform, and you will have to create an account in this platform. It is free to create this account. Either you already have this account or you will have to create it. So this is the example of the creation of the account. And once your account will be created, you will be led to the visitors page of Prague Quadrennial, and here you will have all the calls that we are currently having. And right now, the PQ performance space call is what is interesting for us. And then you will just open that submission form. It is, don't worry, it's all quite intuitive. You will just have to read carefully the form and really read carefully and to write everything down which is required to you. So important thing is that all the fields which are marked with asterisks are essential to write down, but if in case this field will not be relevant for you, you can just like put an X or other different sign for us. And as I said, as Sarah mentioned also about the name of the project, about the submitting name of the project, that also will be in the PQ performance space submission form. So you have to put your name and space anything question mark performance or performance something space. You should put it right in the name of the project. And I think that is everything. And as I said, the platform and the submission form is quite intuitive, so you will be able to fulfill it. But in case you will have questions, you will have the email and you can write any question you would like about the Eventable platform, about concept and such, on this email. So important thing also are the deadlines, and you have to remember about the deadline. So October 1st, the call was published, and you have time to fulfill it and to fill in the form till January 31st. This is the deadline for submissions. And then 2026. And then on the May 1st, you will get the notification of accepted proposals. And till October 31st, you will have time to discuss your ideas with the curator, with the organizers of the festival. And on October 31st in 2026, that will be the date of the final confirmation. And just a quick reminder that the PQ 2027 will take place in Prague on June from 8th of June till 17th of June. So this is about the deadlines. And please take your time when you will be filling the form, and you can save and continue later if needed. And now I will hand over to Adam Svoboda, our Executive Director, and he will explain what PQ provides to participating artists.
Thank you, Anna. Hello, everybody. My name is Adam Svoboda. I'm Executive Director of Prague Quadrennial 2027. And I will just briefly explain the conditions regarding your possible PQ performance space exhibition participation once you are selected. So of course, there is inclusion in the catalog and mentioning in our program. That's kind of obvious. For the performance-based exhibition, we will also be participating on the shipping, not only financially but also logistically and production-wise and technical-wise. We will also cover the insurance from the point when the object or objects will depart its destination until reaching PQ and of course during the PQ event itself and then on the way back. So shipping and insurance is partially covered by PQ. Unfortunately, we can't cover the transportation, the travel costs of the authors or designers who are submitting the object or pieces. But by selecting participating artists more than a year before the event, it is our hope that participants will have the opportunity to secure funding from other organizations or grant bodies, with which we will help as much as possible with letters of intent and similar documents. Of course, we will also provide you with festival passes for the whole team of the project. I think that's it from our side. Of course, on your part, there is like to execute the project and manage object transport, because we can't send it for you. We can just cover the costs. Also, it's always helpful to have the person here to help us set it up. We are ready to set up the pieces here in Prague ourselves, but it's always helpful if the author or the team is here. And we would also like to record or make a documentation of the exhibition itself, which means of the objects themselves for our archive and promotional purposes, not for commercial purposes, obviously. Okay, I think that's all from me, and I'm ready for your questions if there will be any regarding production-wise issues.
Thank you so much, Adam, for explaining. And now we're moving to our, I guess, most important part of this webinar, which is questions and answers. And please, I would like to ask you to use the Q&A box in case you have any question. The question could be regarding everything and curatorial concept, and some maybe production questions, maybe some organizational questions. You can ask us anything right now. And in case you will not come up with a question today, you have here our email, which is call@pq.cz. You can also write any of your question there regarding Eventful platform, regarding curatorial concept and everything else. Here you have the QR code, which leads you towards the open call. You might check it out also. And this is the link to the open calls. There we have all of the open calls. And so far, I think we're having our first question, and I think it is addressed to Sara Franchiera. And this question is about how many projects in general will be chosen at Prague Quadrennial 2027. So, Sara, how many projects are you planning to choose?
Well, that's a good question, but I can't answer that because it depends a lot of the submitted of projects and the relation they have to have in the space. I have a space. That space, it's not bigger than it is. It's already a big space for the exhibition, but the way I'm going to choose the projects, how to manage to put the objects in the exhibition, are of course decisive from how many can I put there. But I think it's a space for a lot of projects, so don't be afraid that it's only like 2 or 3, because I think there's a lot of projects there. But it depends also of the dimensions of the objects that people want to send. So
thank you so much, Sara. And we are having here our second question from Natalie. Is this open call only for solo artists or for collectives as well? I think this question is also for Sara.
For me, it can be the both, of course, because every proposal have like a person that do the proposal, so we can talk to her, but the work that she proposed can also be from collectives. The submission, it's one with the title and with the collection, but it could be from a collective thought. So
Thank you, Sarah. And we have another question from Natalie. Do artists need to have an organization involved in the project? This question is also for you, Sarah.
If I understand, if artists can sense some work of other persons, of other organization, I think it's this one. For me, it's okay, but I think you have to, of course, to ask to that other organization if they agree. But I think so. Because this is opportunity so to the participants do a little of curatorial work too, because they are presenting me not just an object but a collection. So you can have like a space to be your kind of curator and ask for something that you some person that you know or some building that you are just put in relation with it. If they accept, I think it's if they accept, it's okay.
I would maybe just add that there is no need for any organization to be involved. These open calls are for individuals or collectives, but it doesn't mean that you need to have some organization or university or something behind you. You can apply on yourself.
Great, thank you, Adam, for adding for this question. And we have another one question from Natalie. Is there any limits to dimensions? I guess dimensions of the submitted objects, right? I think that question is more for Adam, as he is doing the practical part of the festival.
I'm not sure if I'm the right one to answer it because of course, I would say yes, there is a limitation on weight or dimensions. No, but it's just we are like we work in a festival or international exhibition framework. So, for example, if you submit something which will take 2 shipping containers, then I'm afraid we won't have the funds to transport it. And also the venue has like 1,800 square meters. So I would say like think practically about your submissions, but if I'm correct, we didn't put any limitation in the open call, so it's on Sarah, and of course then we discuss if there will be something quite large or quite heavy, we will discuss it among the team.
Yeah, that's my fault. That's have any dimension because I just want something very open. But of course, I have to be realistic, and sometimes I think you have to have you ask yourself if that object that you're sending, I mean, it's too big or too heavy. Can the I don't know, the crew that is there, like normal persons that are going to put the object there, can they do it? Do you have to have like something specialized in putting the object? Because that's a problem, because like Adam said, we can afford a team to came with the object and to put in exhibition. So the object as kind of a very emancipative way of arriving to PQ. So I think that's it's considerable when you think about very big objects that have to be I don't know, organized in a specific way in the exhibition. So but we have time to talk, so send me your proposal, then we can see also how can we manage, you know, like do that kind of thinking with you, with what's the best way. So
yeah, I just wanted to add a similar thing, that I'm looking into the open call right now, and there is a note that artists must consult with the organizer if in advance if submitting large or heavy works. So it's always better to talk with us before you're submitting sculpture weight 2 tons. So just discuss with us and we can help you, definitely. And in general, go through the open call, through the text of the open call. There is so much information which we didn't mention probably here on this webinar, which you can learn there. You can find it easily on our website.
Thank you, Sarah and Adam, for answering the questions, and thank you so much, Natalie, for asking those questions. And Other participants, please do not hesitate either to raise your hand or to write those questions in the question box. And we have another one question from Sabrina. So Sabrina says that my project focuses on accessibility, and although its structure doesn't occupy much space and can be adjusted if needed, it is designed so that everyone, especially blind, deaf, deaf-blind, and deaf, and people with reduced mobility, can touch and fully experience it by tactile, AD Braille systems. I am a bit concerned about how the organization can support me in planning the in and outflow of the space. Could you advise me on this? I think this question is on Adam and Sarah as well.
You can start, Sarah, if you want to.
So my advice is do your application and also think about the concept, the room that you're proposing. You can obviously send some kind of thought about how you can see that objects in the space and how can people move inside your objects or around your objects, so you can visually understand everything that is necessary for your object. And then, of course, we can talk about all the conditions. I think the space is accessible, so I think that it's not a problem. But we have to see, of course, if all the conditions that you need could be assured. But I think you can apply with your project and be specific in these conditions. And for instance, for this first part, I think it's okay and it's lovely. It's a great contribution.
Yes, I totally agree with Sarah. And I think the second part of the question, it's not only concerning PQ performance-based exhibition, concerning the whole PQ, how to navigate people with special needs, etc. And we were discussing this yesterday. Right now, we can't provide you with concrete information. This is something we are talking about a lot. This is one of our very important topics right now. And maybe you can just send us the project. We can look on it. But right now, I can't tell you what exactly we will do with this. Sorry.
Oh, thank you so much, Nana, for this question. We remember you from yesterday, and thank you for attending our webinar and today also. It's nice to see that you have interest in the PQ. And we have next question from Maria Economy. Can we have curatorial teams submitting a proposal? I think it's for Sarah.
I think Barbara wants to respond to this question, and I don't know, can be both.
Oh, yes.
No?
Yes, it's for Barbara.
Okay, thank you. I would say yes, why not? It can be a curatorial team. We definitely need this one contact person, the one person who's going to be submitting the materials, the person that's going to be communicating with us, with Sarah, and with the rest of the team. But I don't see why that would be a problem.
Yeah, that's my answer exactly.
Thank you, Barbara, and thank you, Maria, for your question. We have another question from Eva Zurakowska. Hello. Is it possible to submit an object which is a site-specific participative performance happening in a chosen location in Prague? It is art and wellness project designed for sauna and swimming pool. I think this question is for
I'm
Sarah.
happy to take it over.
Barbara, yes.
This sounds, if I understand well, maybe something that I would guide you towards our section PQ Performance. We have a section in our program curated by the curatorial team that focuses on performance. And this sounds like that could be the right fit. The open call is on the website, and we just held seminar actually yesterday, and soon we're going to have the recording available as well.
Thank you, Barbara. And I hope, Eva, your question was answered. So I will just remind you about our email call pq.cz. So just in case any questions won't be answered today, or you will come up with a question after the webinar or tomorrow, you can always write this question on our email. And I would like to remind you about the deadlines, because submission deadline, which is the most important deadline for all of us right now, it is January 31st, 2026. So it's basically in a few months. So it seems like there is plenty of time, but actually time flies very fast. So I would recommend maybe all of you just like step by step start to think about your participation in PQ. Takže co se týče otázek, asi tohle to bude last... Oh, sorry, excuse me. So this is the last call for all of the questions. If you want to ask something, this is the best time to ask. Otherwise, we will be coming to an end of the webinar. And I will share our presentation once again. So also, we are having upcoming webinars for our other sections, such as PQ Publication Cultures, PQ Talks, and PQ Studio. The closest webinar will be on November the 3rd, and the next month. The PQ Publication Cultures webinar for PQ Talks would take place in November 4th. And PQ Studio, we are still deciding the date of the webinar, but please stay tuned. Once the date will be out, you will know about this in our Instagram and in our website. It's better to follow us everywhere. Oh, and we are having here last question. I'm gonna read it out loud. And this question is from Anne. Just to clarify, the objects we submit are the ones that will be exhibited. So if I submit a video work, it will be the video that it is exhibited and not the live version of it. This question is for Sarah.
Yes, it's that exactly. If you submit the video, it's the video that is going to be in exhibition. And also this exhibition is a part of PQ that doesn't deal exactly with the performance live. It's live in the sense that you experience the exhibition, but it's concerned about this idea of representation, objects that represent other places. So it's not only about the live moment of it, but this kind of connection with other places by means of objects and different kinds of forms of representation. So we are looking for videos, for text, for images, and these are the objects that are going to be exposed as the things, the links, you know, with the other events of and other places of the world.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you for your question. I would like to thank everyone for the questions. So as I was saying, we are having another webinars upcoming the next month. And finally, I would like to encourage you all just to be bold, be strong, and to be true to your vision. And I would like to remind to everyone that PQ is a space for experimentation, is a space for exchange and creative dialogue. And we are looking forward to receive your proposals and hopefully to see your works on PQ 2027. And I would like to thank again our team. I would like to thank Sarah for joining us, for explaining the concept, for showing the examples. And I would like to thank Adam and Barbara for answering the questions. And yes, this session was recorded, and the video of this session will be published on our website. So everyone will have the possibility to rewatch this video or to watch it.
Thank you,
so
everyone.
much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great
Bye-bye.
day or evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.